All right, we're back for another deep dive, and this time we're heading back into the world of Kecia's tour life.
Yeah, Kecia from Kecia's Tour Life.
Yeah, that's right. And as always, it's a real treat to kind of like, tag along with her on these music and travel adventures.
She always takes us to some pretty cool places.
Yeah, she does. And this time she went to see Pitbull and T-Pain
Oh, wow.
at the Riverbend Music Center
Oh, nice.
in Cincinnati.
Cool.
And, speaking of adventures, she even mentions, like, the whole parking situation at these big venues can be like a whole thing in itself.
Oh, yeah.
She said she had to park like a mile away and hike in.
Oh, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it feels like the pre-show trek is like an adventure
Right.
just to get there.
Totally. Yeah, it kind of like builds the anticipation.
It does.
But okay, let's get to the good stuff. What happened inside the venue?
Yeah.
So Kecia starts by talking about this incredible seat upgrade she got.
Oh.
She was originally like way off to the side, but right before Pitbull hit the stage, she gets moved to the 5th row center.
Wow. That's amazing.
Talk about a game changer, right?
Yeah, what a way to see a show.
I know, right?
Did she say how that happened?
She didn't really go into detail,
Oh,
but it sounds like it was total luck,
Yeah.
just a stroke of luck.
cool.
And she really emphasizes how, being that close just completely transformed her experience.
Yeah, but
What do you think it is about being near the stage that just like makes such a difference?
well, I mean, think about it. When you're closer, all of your senses are just heightened.
Right.
The music isn't just something you hear, you feel it
Yeah.
vibrating through you. The lights are more intense.
Yeah.
You can see the sweat dripping off the performers.
Mhm.
You can see their expressions.
Yeah.
It creates a sense of intimacy and immediacy that you just don't get when you're farther away. Especially with like high energy performers like Pitbull and T-Pain. I bet being that close was just electric.
Kecia actually mentioned that she could like feel the bass thumping in her chest.
Wow.
She said it was loud, which I'm sure is an understatement.
Yeah.
Just 5 rows in those speakers.
Wow.
But let's talk about the performances themselves. Kecia raved about T-Pain's energy.
Oh, cool.
She even admitted that she wasn't super familiar with his music going in,
Oh.
but his stage presence just totally blew her away.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Do you think, a really captivating performer can win over an audience even if they don't know the music?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the mark of a true artist, I think. I mean, think about it. A great performer isn't just singing songs. They're creating an experience,
Right.
a connection with the audience.
Yeah.
They're using their body language, their facial expressions, their energy to really draw you in and make you feel something. And T-Pain is known for being a charismatic performer, so it doesn't surprise me that Kecia was impressed.
Yeah, she definitely seemed to be. Now, about Pitbull,
Yeah.
Kecia was just floored by his energy.
Oh, wow.
She said he had the energy of 1,000 Energizer bunnies, which I just thought was a hilarious visual.
That's a great way to put it.
Right.
Yeah, he's famous for his high-octane performances.
Totally.
He doesn't just stand there and sing. He
Yeah.
really commands the stage.
Right.
He knows how to work a crowd, and it sounds like he brought his A game to this show.
He definitely did.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just about the music either.
Oh.
Kecia talked about all the visual elements of the show.
Right.
Pitbull's multiple costume changes,
Mm-hmm.
which she said were super fast and seamless.
Oh, wow.
And then there were the pyrotechnics.
Pyrotechnics are always a crowd pleaser.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah.
She described real flames, smoke, even confetti cannons going off at the end.
Wow, that's great.
I know they really spared no expense on the spectacle. But it makes you wonder, why do you think there's such an emphasis on visual spectacle in concerts today?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And I think it reflects a larger trend that we see in entertainment in general.
Okay.
We live in a world of constant stimulation.
Yeah.
And audiences, especially younger generations, have really come to expect a certain level of visual wow factor.
Right.
It's not enough for a concert to just be about the music anymore.
Yeah.
It needs to be a multi-sensory experience, lights, lasers, video screens, pyrotechnics, all of these elements contribute to creating a truly immersive experience.
It's like a concert mixed with a theatrical production almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about creating a spectacle that engages the audience on multiple levels and leaves a lasting impression.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now let's circle back to Kecia. She mentioned that she was standing for like 99.9% of the show.
Wow. Talk about a workout.
Right.
That definitely tells you something about the energy level of the concert.
Yeah.
Pitbull and T-Pain clearly kept the crowd on their feet from start to finish.
It sounds like a total dance party. But it also makes you think about the role of the audience in creating that energy, too.
Yeah.
It's not just a one-way street, right?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's a dynamic exchange. A great performer feeds off the energy of the crowd, and the crowd, in turn, responds to the performer's energy.
Right.
It creates this kind of feedback loop that just amplifies the experience for everyone involved.
That's a great point. It's like a collective energy that just like builds and builds throughout the show.
Exactly. Think about a concert you've been to where the crowd was really into it.
Yeah.
You could practically feel the electricity in the air.
Yeah.
That shared energy is what makes live music so powerful.
You're so right.
It's really fascinating to think about Kecia's experience, you know, how it kind of highlights the power of serendipity.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if she hadn't gotten that seat upgrade.
Right.
Her whole perception of the concert could have been completely different.
It's mind-blowing when you think about it that way.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder, like, how many incredible moments we might miss out on.
Right.
Simply because of where we happen to be standing or sitting.
Exactly. It's a reminder to stay open to those unexpected twists of fate, you know?
Right.
Sometimes the most memorable experiences come from those unplanned moments of surprise and delight. Well, a few years back, I went to a music festival kind of on a whim. I wasn't really familiar with most of the artists on the lineup, but, you know, I was open to discovering something new.
Right.
And as luck would have it, I stumbled upon this performance by this relatively unknown indie band.
Okay.
They absolutely blew me away. Their energy was infectious, the music was incredible, and I ended up becoming a huge fan.
That's awesome.
If I hadn't been open to the experience, I would have missed out on something truly special.
See, this is why I love exploring these deep dives with you.
Aw, thanks.
You always bring such great insights to the table. Speaking of insights,
Yeah.
there's something else Kecia mentioned that really caught my attention.
Okay.
She talked about how Pitbull and T-Pain performed their hit song, Hey Baby, Drop It to the Floor, together.
Oh, nice.
I bet that was epic.
Oh, I can only imagine hearing that song live with both artists on stage.
Right?
Must have been electrifying. It's moments like that that make live music so special.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Kecia said the crowd went absolutely wild,
Oh, wow.
which makes me think about the power of musical collaborations.
Yeah.
Like when two artists come together and they create something unique,
Right.
it just seems to resonate with audiences on a whole other level.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It
Yeah.
taps into our, you know, our innate desire for connection. When we see two artists we admire sharing the stage and feeding off each other's energy,
Yeah.
it creates this sense of unity,
Yeah?
both between the performers and the audience. It's like we're all part of something bigger than ourselves in that moment.
It's true.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the music itself.
Right.
It's about the visual spectacle of seeing those two artists together.
Yeah.
You know, it creates this kind of visual synergy that adds another layer of excitement to the performance. It's like, boom, double the star power.
Exactly. It's a visual representation of that creative partnership.
Right.
And in a live setting, it becomes even more potent because you're witnessing that energy exchange happening right in front of you in real time.
Yeah.
It's raw. It's electric.
It's like the audience is being invited into the creative process in a way.
Precisely. There's this sense of shared energy and excitement that flows between the performers and the audience.
Yeah.
You're not just observing the performance, you're participating in it.
Right.
You're feeding into that collective energy.
That's such a cool way to think about it. Yeah. Now, towards the end of her blog post,
Yeah.
Kecia kind of reflects on the overall experience
Uh-huh.
and shares some pretty interesting thoughts about how the concert made her feel.
I'm all ears. What stood out to her as particularly memorable?
Well, she talked about how the concert left her feeling energized and buzzing even long after it was over.
Yeah.
Like the music was still coursing through her veins. Have you ever felt that way after a great show?
Oh, absolutely. It's like a lingering high, isn't it?
Totally.
The afterglow of a great concert where you're still riding the wave of all those good vibes.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the music.
Right.
It's about the whole experience. The
Yeah.
energy of the crowd, the connection with the artist, the feeling of being a part of something special.
It's like the music transcends the physical space of the concert venue and becomes a part of you, you know?
I know exactly what you mean.
I think Kecia's experience really captures that transformative power of live music.
Yeah.
It's not just a passive form of entertainment. It's an active, immersive experience that can uplift,
Yeah.
inspire, and create memories that stay with us long after the final note is played.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah,
She's a true music enthusiast who seeks out those immersive, unforgettable experiences.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Which makes her blog so much fun to follow.
It is.
It's like we get to be right there with her, experiencing the music and the travel adventures through her eyes.
It's true. It's like a virtual backstage pass to the world of music and travel.
Exactly. And speaking of her blog, before we move on, I want to remind everyone that you can find Kecia on all the major social media platforms,
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And of course, on her blog at keciastourlife.com.
Be sure to check her out. You won't be disappointed.
Okay, so as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I can't help but wonder, what's going through your mind right now? Are you thinking back to a concert that left a lasting impression on you?
I'm curious, too. What are you remembering?
Well, this whole conversation about the impact of live music has gotten me thinking about my own concert experiences.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to realize just how much those events have shaped my own personal narrative. They've become these touchstones in my memory,
Yeah.
these moments of pure joy and connection that I can revisit whenever I need a boost.
That's such a beautiful way to put it. And it leads us perfectly into our final thought for you today.
Okay.
Think about the most memorable concert you've ever been to. What made it so special? What emotions did it evoke in you? We'd love to hear your stories and reflections. Maybe even share them with us on social media.
That's a great question to ponder.
Yeah.
And it's a reminder that even though we each experience these events individually, there's this shared human connection that binds us all through the power of music.
And that's a powerful thing. You know, it's interesting to think about Kecia's mindset going into this concert. Like she mentioned, she wasn't that familiar with T-Pain's music,
Right.
but she was still open to the experience and ended up being totally blown away by his performance.
Yeah.
I think that open-mindedness adds a whole other, like, richness to her experience, don't you think?
Totally, yeah. It's
Wow.
like she went in ready to just embrace the unexpected, and that willingness to be surprised definitely paid off.
Yeah.
It kind of speaks to the beauty of live music, you know, like you can walk into a venue without knowing every song and still leave feeling like deeply connected to the artist and the music.
Absolutely. There's something about the raw energy of a live performance that goes beyond, you know, just familiarity with the material.
Right.
It's about the shared experience, the connection you make in that moment. Have you ever had a similar experience at a concert?
Oh, Deb, yeah. I remember going to a music festival a few years back, and I stumbled upon a set by this band I'd never even heard of.
Uh-huh.
And they were playing this incredible blend of like folk and electronic music, and I was just completely mesmerized.
Wow.
It totally changed my perspective on what music could be.
It's funny how those unexpected discoveries can have such a profound impact, you know?
Yeah,
It's a good reminder to stay curious and open to new experiences.
so true. But getting back to Kecia, one thing that really stood out to me in her blog post
Yeah.
was how vividly she captured the atmosphere of the concert.
Right.
It wasn't just like a factual account of what happened.
Yeah.
She really conveyed the feeling, the energy, the emotional impact of the experience.
You're right. She has a knack for transporting you right into the heart of the action.
Yeah.
It's like you're right there with her, feeling the bass vibrate through your body,
Yeah.
witnessing the spectacle of the stage, becoming part of that crowd's collective energy.
It's like a virtual concert experience.
Yeah.
And, you know, it reminds us that music at its core is about connection. It connects us to the artists, to each other, and to something, you know, deeper within ourselves.
Beautifully said. I think that's the perfect note to end on. This deep dive into Kecia's tour life has been a blast, as
Yeah.
always.
Yes.
A great reminder of the power of live music, the importance of embracing the unexpected, and the joy of those shared experiences.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And for those of you looking to add a little more music and adventure to your lives, be sure to check out Kecia's blog and her social media channels.
Yes.
You can find her on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and of course on her blog at keciastourlife.com.
Thanks for joining us.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep listening, and keep those concert memories alive.